All right, y'all get started here in a minute. What's going on? What's going on? Okay. There's a few things to talk about, man. I feel like it's been a minute since my last live stream. I don't know. Maybe it just feel like that because so much has been going on this past week. But yeah, we'll get started here in a minute. Let a few people come in. Then I'll jump on this thing probably like the 3 or 4 minute mark. So hope everybody's having a good New Year so far. I mean, shoot, we only what 2 days deep. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Ernest. What's going on? Yeah, Cole. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, it does kind of feel like it's been a minute. I don't know. I thought it was just me. So Happy New Year, Colton. So yeah, 2 days deep, but everything is all right. I mean, nothing much changed. We still in the same thing. But yeah, just a few things I want to talk about. Paige Van Zant, Britton Hart is going down. BKFC. Paige is making her bare knuckle debut next month, February 5th. So let's talk about that. We're going to talk about that and the opening WMMA fights of this month. That's what we got right here. We got LFA 97. Got two women's fights on the LFA 97 card coming up. We got Loveth Young versus Kelly D'Angelo. Then we got Claire Guthrie versus how do you pronounce her name? Hold on. I don't want to butcher her name. It's Claire Guthrie, and I think she's from Belgium. Hold on. How do you pronounce that name? I want to make sure I get it right. Nadine Mandiao. Marcus Bell, what's going on? Yeah. So we got Claire Guthrie versus Nadine Mandiao. And then on the UFC card, the first UFC card of the year, we have Sarah Moras versus Vanessa Melo and Betch Correia versus Yan Wu. And I know what y'all thinking, man. Betch Correia, man, this is her last go round, and that's what I'm thinking. This is gonna be her last chance. I don't know if that's if y'all think the same thing. I'm thinking the same thing, man, because I thought she was cut the first go round, but I guess the UFC needs fighters right now, so they're just trying to grab somebody who's willing to fight right now, and fill the shoes and kind of be a body. Yeah, that is interesting, Colton. It is a big move. I mean, it seems to really be pushing Paige a lot now that she's in the bare knuckle boxing, but how long is she gonna last? Because I was watching some of these girls fight, man, and it ain't no joke. Bare knuckles is not a joke. I mean, well, yeah, let's get started, man. Let's go ahead and talk this. Let's go ahead and talk this thing. We already hit the 4 minute mark. So, yeah, man, let's see the date here. Let me pull the date up. So, yeah, just want to welcome everybody back to another CB99 live stream. Hope everybody's New Year's going good so far. Like I said, I know we only 2 days deep, but I'm still trying to bring that positive energy on y'all. But like always, it's Combo Breaker 99 in the house. But got some things to talk about. Let's kick this January off right, man. So Paige Van Zant is making her debut against Britton Hart February 5th, BKFC. If you're not familiar, that means bare knuckle boxing, bare knuckle fighting championship. And we heard about this a few months ago after Paige got cut from the UFC. It was either going to be Bellator, but she didn't sign on to Bellator yet. She decided to go the bare knuckle route. And right off top, it seems to brought a lot of steam to the forefront, of bare knuckle boxing. I mean, like Colton, he brought up a good point. She is a face, a pretty face that everybody's just kind of looking at, and I think that's what's kind of bringing so many people to it right now and just bringing the attraction. But if you're a hardcore fan of combat sports and you follow Paige VanZant's UFC career, you're gonna ask yourself, is this a good idea? You're gonna ask yourself, is this really a good idea for Paige VanZant to be doing this? I mean, if you really analyze her fights, her injuries and her layoffs in between, and just her overall fighting style, like, is she really made for bare knuckle boxing? Those are the questions that a lot of people had to answer that are really analyzing it. But there's some people who are just saying, oh yeah, I'm ready to see Paige over here throw down, but really, like, is she gonna throw down? And since she's been signed, it has been taking a while for her to get a fight. I know she's been doing other things and promoting other, she's been kind of promoting BKFC. She's been doing like some analysis, kind of becoming a commentator with them as well. But people wanted to know when she was going to sign on and fight, when she was going to get in there and fight. And if you're not familiar with Britton Hart, she's also a fighter in BKFC. I think she's already like fought for them like 3 or 4 times right now. Let me double check her record. But after her last fight, Britton Hart, after her last fight in bare knuckle boxing that she won, Paige VanZant got into the ring and called her out for a fight. So Britton Hart, she said, hey, I'll do it. She was ready to take the fight. But since then, it's been kind of like up and down with Paige. Paige was not really answering the call. She was, taking a while to take a fight. There was a time when there were just a few weeks ago that it was almost stated that Paige was going to fight Rachel Ostovich in bare knuckle boxing. I don't know if y'all heard that. That was a rumor. So, I'm actually friends with Britton Hart. She's a Facebook friend. I'm a Facebook friend with her, and, I've talked to her a little bit. And probably going to get her an interview next week. Britton Hart, she's kind of been showing the frustration because, it's like, all right, why are you getting in the ring and trying to call me out saying you want to fight me in my debut, but you ain't really like acknowledging the fight? So Britton Hart's kind of been on her. She's been going on live streams. She's been going on her Facebook page, her Instagram, and kind of calling Paige out. So, Paige, she finally accepted. Paige finally has a date set, and Paige and Britton Hart are scheduled to fight February 5th. So yeah, it's going down. But man, there's a lot of questions, man, for me that I really want to know why Paige VanZant wants to choose this bare knuckle boxing, man. Colton said bare knuckle will grow a lot from Paige. I think they've invested a lot in her. Yeah, it could grow, but that also means she has to grow as a fighter. She has to be impressive when she gets in there. It's intriguing for a pretty face with a lot of clout to be doing bare knuckle boxing. People are gonna want to see if her face gets ruined. I know that sounds harsh, but that's the intrigue. Yeah, that is kind of the intrigue because there's gonna be a lot of girls that want to go in there and put hands on her. I could see Britton Hart, going in there with that type of energy where she wants to go in there and really do some damage, especially whenever Paige got in the ring and called her out, and she's kind of been putting her off. But now that the fight is on, I know that Britton said she's ready for this fight, and we're gonna see where Paige is. Like, I haven't really seen Paige putting up too much training footage of her like working on her boxing, or just like hitting the bag. I think maybe seen one video of her hitting the bag, but I haven't really seen her doing any mitt work or working with any like pro boxers or anything like that. And that's another question too. Like I said, like, was it just the money or just the exposure that's bringing Paige over? Like, did she really have boxing in her blood? Like, she's never really been known as a boxer. I mean, she's had some moments where she likes to stand and has some good striking, but in the past, but even then it was mostly her kicks that people were knowing her for, like her flying crane kick that she, not the crane kick, but that one kick that she did to Beck Rollins, a while back. She wasn't really known for like an all out brawl out type of fighter. Because if you even go back and look at some of her past wins and even some of her losses, I didn't really see her as like this fluid boxer or this fluid striker in there. Cedric, see what's going on. He said Paige is popping. BKFC need. Paige is popping. BKFC needs her. The BKFC fighters and nobodies. They be picking up some names now. They got people like Paulie Malignaggi. I mean, he's not like a big boxer. He was never really like a breakout star in boxing, but I don't even think he'll come back either. But they had some people come through. But yeah, overall, yeah, they don't really have like a big roster. Beck Rollins. Beck Rollins is probably like their most known fighter I know. Colton, if Paige gets messed up, she's gonna want to fulfill her contract because I heard she gets paid more as each fight progresses. Yeah, and well, I'm gonna talk about the matchup here in a minute, but yeah, going back to Paige, her overall style, like I don't know, man, like I really just don't see the style of Paige Vanzant translating over to bare knuckle as far as like the energy she brings. Um, she's not really a dog in there. You know what I mean? She doesn't seem like the type of fighter that likes to go in there and likes to. I can't say she doesn't like to get hit because she does take damage. The girl does take damage, but I just don't really see her as like a fighter that likes to get hit and then come back with 2, 3 more shots and that type of heart. Especially with what she has going on in her career right now. She's doing so many other things besides fighting, and she's making so much more money off of, you know, non-combat sports related things. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, if anything, Beck Rollins, like she to me really looked like the boxer. Even when she was in even when she was in the UFC and when she was in oh, I was just reading what Marcus said here. Did you see Paige sparring for bare knuckle? No, I didn't, man. Is it on her IG? Yeah, I haven't really seen any footage of her doing any type of sparring or any type of boxing training. Maybe I haven't been looking hard enough, but I haven't seen anything. Where do I see that, Marcus? Yeah, yeah. Let me know where I can find that at though. I'm gonna look it up now while I'm on live stream with y'all. But yeah, Beck Rollins, she's always kind of seemed like the boxer to me, even whenever she was in the UFC and Bellator. She's always had the hands and like all the footage she would post, even on her IG live or on her stories, she was throwing nice punches. Beck Rollins always kind of had the hands for boxing. Even back in Invictus, she's always had the hands for boxing. She was just never really like a complete MMA fighter. Her ground game was always average or below average. Um, Her approach to MMA was always kind of mediocre, but when it came to boxing, that was Beck Rollins' game. So I've always thought Beck would go into professional boxing, but since they threw Beck the money in bare knuckle boxing, she said, "Hey, I'm going there." And I think that's kind of where Paige was with hers, outside of the style thing. You know what I mean? Like they probably just threw her the money too and said, "Yo, we need a face for bare knuckle boxing, and we want it to be you." So Paige saw that money, and like Colton said, what was that? That was you, Colton, right? Yeah, Colton. Yeah, they said with each fight you're gonna get more and more money. So that was like, yo, I'm all for that. That's what she probably said. So it's not really like a thing. I think I see where Paige wants to take it too seriously. Like I don't know, y'all agree with me on that or disagree with me? I don't really see Paige taking this too seriously, like staying in this thing for like a long haul and trying to get a belt and defend it. because you know bare knuckle boxing, it's just so much. It's just so different than throwing strikes and MMA, and it's so much different than regular boxing. You know, you gotta really know how to turn your punches over and not overcommit. You gotta worry about broken bones and swelling knuckles, and then you gotta worry about broken cheekbones and things like that. I mean, that's the whole purpose, you know, in boxing, to have so much padding on your hands and, you know, have your hands wrapped, because it's it's a it's a it's a dangerous thing if somebody comes into the ring with no padding in their boxing gloves. You know, it can really put some dents and do damage to a person's face. But I mean, in bare knuckle boxing, that's what it's all about. So that's something that Paige has to really prepare for. And I think they're trying to prepare her for what they think is a soft touch. Because I mean, when you look at Britain Hart, her record in bare knuckle boxing, I think it's like 1-2. So they're trying to look to build her up. So I think this is a time for Britain Hart to really try to capitalize off of this. You know, try to stop the hype train early. And I think that's the energy that Britain Hart is kind of bringing to the table. You know, because Britain Hart is a professional boxer. You know, she's had over like eight or nine professional boxing fights, and she's already been in BKFC for 3 fights. I want to say 3 or 4. Wait, let me see. Yeah, because she's currently 1-2. Yeah, she's currently 1-2 in our bare knuckle boxing. That's Britain Hart. So they're kind of seeing Britain as a fight to feed to Paige, but you know, Britain Hart, she's not seeing it that way. You know, she's trying to bring that energy that, yo, I'm about to go in there and pull off this upset. And it's a good time for her. You know, it's a good opportunity for her to go in there and do that. I mean, she has the skill set. She has the skills that Paige lacks. I mean, yeah, she is 1-2, but one of her losses came to Beck Rollins, and it was a very close loss. You know, Britain Hart had a very close split decision loss to Beck Rollins. You know, a fight where she was boxing well in the first half, using the footwork, but Paige came on strong. Beck came on strong in the second half and really started to put hands on Britain Hart. You know, it's with the harder, I think, more effective punches. So, you know, I think that, yeah, Brittany Hart, she definitely has a good chance in this fight because, again, like Paige Vanzant doesn't really come from a very, very strong boxing background. And I think a lot of y'all, even in the stream, and a lot of y'all fans of MMA know that as well. You know, y'all don't really see like Beck. Nobody in here ever really said, oh, Paige is going to be this top-notch boxer, or nobody's ever said, watch out for Beck's. Even in that fight with Beck, nobody ever said, watch out for Paige's hands. You know what I mean? Ernest Richards said Paige stated she wanted to go back to the cage eventually. All right, hold on. Marcus said it's on Paige's Instagram. Hold on, let me pull it up. I haven't really looked at her Instagram as of recently. Hold on. I could, yeah, Ernest, I could see her going back. I could definitely see her going back to MMA because she still is training at ATT. You know, I have seen her post some footage of that she's been going ATT. You know, training with a lot of the fighters there, like Amanda Ribas, who she lost to. All right, let me click on that link because I didn't see it. It didn't come up here. Hold on. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, you mean the bag pit? Yeah, I seen this. I seen this, Marcus. I thought you meant you had some sparring footage of her. I was like, let me see the sparring footage. Hold on, look. Yeah, I seen this.
Go forward. I out.
Hmm. I'm just watching this. I don't know, man. I mean, I could definitely see Britain Hart winning this fight. You know, like I said, just with her boxing background. I mean, Paige was trying to turn. You know, Paige was turning them punches over. I ain't gonna hate. You know, she was throwing them. I didn't really see any like speed there, but she was throwing some punches. But I don't know, man. If Paige loses this first fight, then she could pretty much say goodbye to anything like um, any of those big paydays and those big future paydays in bare knuckle boxing. I think eventually she wants to get a rematch with Beck Rawlings. You know, I know Beck wants that because actually Beck had said something about her coming over to bare knuckle boxing. I think Beck Rawlings said something like, you know, Paige ain't gonna last. You know, so that right there tells you if she gets in there and beats if she beats Britain Hart, then eventually these two will get on like a collision course for, you know, a rematch in bare knuckle boxing. So, you know, anything, you know, I mean, anything can happen in these fights, but my main thing is you're in there with an experienced boxer in Britain, experienced bare knuckle boxer, and you can't go off of her record. You know, in my opinion, you just can't go off of Britain Hart's record and say, okay, she's 1-2, so I'm gonna go in there and blast her out, and you know, I'm gonna do this with, you know, I'm gonna just go in there and do this one fight, and then I can move on and see her as an easy fight. No, because Britain Hart, like I said, she's got the skill set to do this. She definitely got the skill set to beat her. Got the footwork, got the boxing ability. So really, Paige better take this fight seriously. And just by off of that little bit of training and bag work there, I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't know if she's gonna be able to do it. But let's say if Paige does beat Britain Hart, I mean, it's only going to get more and more dangerous from here. So I'm like, does she really want to keep doing this? Does she really want to get bashed up? You know, possibly get some teeth knocked out? Does she really want scar tissue? You know, the risk of like maybe losing an eyesight, you know, a detached retina or anything like that. Does Beck really want to put all that on the line when she's making more money in other ventures she's doing? You know, it's a dangerous sport. It's not a joke. I mean, boxing is bad enough, but you know, bare knuckle boxing, come on. Ernest Richardson said, "What if Paige gets boxed up in her debut?" It's possible. It's very, very likely too. It's very likely she could. Gary Balder, what's going on? Gary said Beck Rawlings is a clown too. I don't know, man. Like that's what she kind of was. She was kind of like the heel in the UFC and in MMA. People kind of saw her as that, Gary. But in bare knuckle boxing, you know, I think she's kind of found her. She's kind of found her calling. You know, Beck Rawlings is a pretty tough girl when it comes to bare knuckle boxing. I mean, the girl can throw hands. You know, she wasn't a very, very impressive MMA fighter. But you know, when it came to bare knuckle boxing, I think that, you know, that was her calling. You know, she's very at home with it, at one with it, if you will. But yeah, I just wanted to go back and talk about that a little bit because that's on the horizon, and like in a month, February 5th, early picks. I know everybody probably feels like Paige is going to get blown out, which is very possible. Like I said, I'll probably have Britain Hart on the channel January 6th. You know, we'll talk about the fight and we'll just, kind of introduce y'all to Britton Hart. If y'all never talked to any of these bare knuckle boxers before, if you're not really familiar with them, we'll sit down and talk. So be on the lookout for that. I think, yeah, January 6th, that's Wednesday. Yeah, be on the lookout for that Wednesday. Gary said, yeah, plastic surgery isn't perfect. You can mess up your face, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, you could get your lip fixed, you could get your eyebrow, get your brow fixed, your eyelid fixed, but are you still gonna are you gonna look like the same girl again? Oh shoot, I was looking at this. Oh, dang, this Ryan Garcia Luke Campbell fight is on too now, so I'm kind of watching that at the same time. Colton said, "How do you get fighters interviews? Do you have to pay?" No, I don't have to pay. If I had to pay, I wouldn't do it. And, if anything, it should be the other way around because we're kind of promoting them. Not saying hey, the girls need to pay me, like it's that it needs to be done. But yeah, I mean, media is kind of like the promotional company. We're a form of like promotion where we're kind of getting you out because we have fans that come and we have subscribers that come and listen to us. So it would mean more if the fighters actually paid us because yeah, we are like promotional. But yeah, no, I don't pay. No, I just reach out to them. I just reach out, see if they want to sit down and talk, promote their fight because I'm kind of like I'm promoting them. So we're kind of actually doing them a favor by putting them out there so everybody knows who they are. So yeah, Cole, it wouldn't make sense if we had to pay them. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's all. Yeah, just reach out to them on social media, man. But yeah, that'll be January 6th, this Wednesday coming. So we'll sit down and talk. Final thoughts on that? What y'all think about that fight? Oh, did he, Marcus? Yeah, I'm looking at Ryan right now, man. I must have missed that knockdown. I rewind it back. I knew it, man. I knew Luke Campbell had the skill, man. He got the skill to do this, man. I knew it. For all y'all for your non-boxing fans, I'm watching this Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell fight right now too as well. I'm just kind of oh wow, big left hand, damn, he dropped him hard. Woo, that's what I'm saying, man. Tank will knock Ryan Garcia out. Damn, pulling straight back. That's what I'm saying. MMA boxing fans, look, you never pull straight back like that. You step out at angles. You never step straight back. You step straight back, you're still in the punching zone. Damn, he dropped him hard. He dropped him on his back, Marcus. Damn. So yeah, y'all. Let's jump to this. Let's jump to these cards. These WMMA cards that we got this month so far. Friday, January 15th, we got LFA 97. This LFA 97 card, it actually has two WMMA bouts on the card. So if you're not familiar with Claire Guthrie, she's a fighter in Invicta. She has a fight coming up on the prelims of the LFA 97 against Nadine Mandiao. So that's a fight to look forward to because I want to see where this Nadine Mandiao goes. She's 1-1. Claire Guthrie, she's 1-1, and I think Claire was like on an exhibition bout on one of these cards. She did well on it. I seen her fight against Caitlin Sammons. If y'all haven't seen Caitlin Sammons before, Caitlin Sammons was the fighter that got knocked out by Stephanie Geltmacher. She's the fighter that submitted Chantel Coates. So Claire Guthrie actually, in my opinion, had beat Caitlin Sammons in her last fight out back in July. Good stand-up fighter, has some good kicks. She's 1-1, like I said, so it's still early to tell, but that's definitely a fight to look out for in LFA 97. That's Claire Guthrie versus Nadine Mandial. And let me check comments. Hold on. Colton said Ryan Garcia needs to be humble with all that mess he's talking on Twitter. I'm telling you, man. Oh, Ernest Richards says, since you know boxing more than me, how did Ryan flatline Fonseca so bad? Oh, man. I got to go back and look at that again, man, because some people were saying that fight was fixed. But I think Ryan Garcia really did have the power to hurt him, too. I ain't going to take away that from Ryan. I think some of these guys, they just kind of get set up for him. Fonseca had fought Tank, too, right? I think he definitely has the power and the speed, but he just doesn't have that overall technique. And, that's what Fonseca, he just kind of fell victim to, was the speed and the power. But this guy, Luke Campbell, he gave Lomachenko trouble, So Lomachenko had fits with Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell's a tall, long southpaw, so this is something Ryan Garcia never faced before. All right, so yeah, Claire Guthrie versus Nadine Mandial. Look out for that fight. And then Loveth Young versus Kelly D'Angelo. I know some of y'all are familiar with Loveth Young now, right? Because I've already talked about it on the channel. Strawweight fight coming up with Kelly D'Angelo. Kelly D'Angelo fights at atom weight as well. And she's fought at Invicta quite a few times now. So this is a good test for Loveth Young. Loveth Young is 2-1. Kelly D'Angelo is 4-3, so she has more experience. And I think she's a solid fighter on the ground, very strong fighter. So Loveth Young is going to really come down to her, I think, using her stand-up in this fight. Loveth Young has some really good boxing skill. And standing at 5'2", I think she's a very good fighter that knows how to she really knows how to get on the inside. She really knows how to utilize her size to her advantage. Some people would say, being this size, it'll be it's too tough to fight longer fighters. Kelly D'Angelo is 5'2" as well, but I want to say her reach is longer. She's a little bit longer. I don't know. Let me see. They actually have Loveth Young's reach at 63.5, so she's actually got a longer reach. Wow. Kelly D'Angelo actually looks a little bit longer in my opinion, but no, they're about the same height and about the same size. So this fight is going to be a little bit more interesting. I think Loveth Young, will have a little bit of easier time with this fight. Like I said, Loveth Young, she's a pretty solid boxer, good striker, very physically strong fighter. Kelly D'Angelo, she's a good grappler. I think she's very good on the ground. Has some good wrestling skills. So this is kind of going to be like striker versus wrestler. So definitely check this fight out. As we get closer, I'll probably do a breakdown for this one. So yeah, that's what's going down with LFA 97. That's how they kicking it off the new year. They got the main event on here. Let me see, who's the main event? Well, I thought the main event was going to be a women's fight too, but no, it's not. So we got 2 women's fights on that card. That's good. And then let me see, UFC Fight Night, January 16th. The Max Holloway card. On the Max Holloway card, we got Betch Correia versus Yana and Wu. This is Betch's last chance, in my opinion. What do y'all think? Betch Correia was originally supposed to be cut last year after her last fight. She was supposed to be cut from the UFC, but they're giving her another chance. One reason they're giving her a chance is because they still need bodies in the UFC. They still need some fighters that to stay active in the bantamweight division. Like I said, man, they wouldn't have this problem if they signed some new blood in the bantamweight division. They should have brought Tanisha Tennant over. This would have been a good fight for Tanisha Tennant just to kind of break into the UFC, get a win over somebody like Betch Correia. But yeah, Betch is taking on Yanan Wu on the prelims card. If not familiar with Yanan Wu, she fights at 125. See, that's what I'm saying, man. You got her a flyweight moving up to bantamweight to fight Betch Correia. What's up with that, man? That's what I'm saying. You should just brought in some more bantamweights from Invicta. Yeah, Yana Wu, her last fight out, she lost to a Japanese fighter Inoue, Mizuki Inoue, at 125. Before that, she submitted Lauren Mueller, and she lost to Gina Mazzani. So she's fought at 135 before, but she didn't really fare well. So to me, I guess it's just kind of like a fight to. They're just trying to fill that void on the card, put on this fight, and they needed an opponent. I think they really want to push Wu a little bit more than Betch, so they're giving her Betch. They're giving Betch that last chance. But if Betch loses this fight, I think it's over. Colton said Betch has a name because of Ronda. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, she really talked trash in that, to put herself on the map. But since then, she hasn't really she really hasn't became much. She hasn't really became much of anything. So that's why I heard too, Ernest. Yeah, I was about to bring that up. Yeah, this is her retirement fight, huh? So this ain't really just like a last thing, like some people were saying. That's why I was hearing that too, that Betch was going to retire. Yeah, because if this is her last fight, that's cool. Then you know what I mean. Like, because last time out they were talking about cutting her, but yeah, if this is just gonna be her last fight, that's fine. Then I'm cool with that. Her last fight out in UFC, that's fine. Yeah, Yana Wu, she's a good sized Chinese fighter. Most of the fighters you see from Asia are pretty slender. Some are shorter, but Yana Wu has some height to her. She's been fighting at flyweight a few times though. Maybe she feels like this is time to move up. So if Yana Wu fares well in this fight and she retires Betch for real, if she puts on a dominant performance and she looks good at 135, then maybe this would be a good fight. This would be a good move for Yana Wu. As far as bringing in more bantamweights, because she's only 24 years old. She's still in her early 20s, and since Dana White's really pushing a lot of Asian fighters right now in the UFC, then that would be a good move. Yeah, so she might come in here looking good too. She might come in here looking good. About 5'9". She's gonna kind of tower over Betch in this fight, and she might be able to overpower her. So that would be this is a winnable fight for Yana Wu. And I think if she does that, then yeah, she might stay at 135. Colton said Betch only did MMA to work out, and she was on a hot streak and undefeated until she met Ronda. I think feeling defeat has made her realize she doesn't really want to fight. Yeah, I think so. I think she kind of goes through the motions because she hasn't really gotten better. I mean, she's beat some people, but it's like she beats them at the same game. She hasn't really beat them at a like game where we say, "Oh man, Betch is improving." Like she doesn't really get better and better. She just comes in there to fight. And if you fall victim to her fight, then that's how she earns her wins, really. Definition. Gary says she's the definition of a mean fighter. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, 135 Betch Correia versus Yana Wu. This fight, I could see this being like a straight meet 'em in the middle strike fest here. And I could see Betch coming in with that open chin. I could see Yana Wu with that size and that strength, I think she could go in there and put Betch out actually. But you never know because Betch, you know, she's a brawler. She's a brawler in there, so she'll probably come in there trying to throw bombs. So it'll be an interesting fight, though. It's going to be, you know, there's going to be some blood in it, I can tell you that now. All right, so next bantamweight fight we have is Sarah Moras versus Vanessa Melo. That's on the same card. That's going to be on the prelims. You know, Vanessa Melo, I like her as a fighter. I just want to see her, you know, do. She has some potential, man, but this is a fight where I think the UFC might cut her as well. Man. You know, maybe not early on 2021, but they might be cutting her maybe like the summer of 2021 because she's on a 3-fight losing streak right now. You know, she's on a 3-fight losing streak. I remember seeing Vanessa Melo like a few years back when she wasn't with the UFC. I thought she had some skill, but as soon as she got to the UFC, that just kind of like separated her, man. She lost her first fight to Irene Aldana. Then I remember she lost to Tracy Cortez. You know, Tracy Cortez, she fought at 135. Then over the summer, I remember that fight against Carol Rosa. You know, Carol Rosa was really just outstriking her and beating her up in the clinch and just really having her way with it, you know. And since then, she hasn't really shown too much improvement like I thought she could have, you know, coming over to the UFC. But I think this fight here against Sarah Moras, I'm not going to say it's going to be winnable. I think it's going to be similar to the Betch fight. It's going to be another fight where hands are going to fly when they meet in the middle. Because sometimes, I won't say sometimes, but a lot of the times, you know, Vanessa Melo will get pulled into them firefights. And, you know, Sarah Moras, she like to throw bombs too. You know, and unless you don't have the counter punching ability like Sarge did or like the ground game like Sarge did, then, you know, Sarah Moras is going to go in there on the attack. So this is going to be one of those, I think it's going to be a stand-up fight. It's going to be a pretty explosive stand-up fight. But both of these fights, they're in the bantamweight division, but they don't really push us forward and make us really excited about the bantamweight division, if that makes sense. Because, all right, you got Yanin Wu, flyweight moving up to 135. Then her opponent, Betch Correia, is a fighter that is planning to retire after this fight. So it's not really like a meaningful fight at 135. Then you have Sarah Moras, who has seen better days at 135, versus Vanessa Melo, who's on a 3-fight losing streak. Right? So neither one of these fights really like big, significant bantamweight fights. But they should be action-packed. So if you just want to see a good fight, if you really want to just see a good fight, I think that's what these two fights are they're gonna bring. They're gonna bring some firefight. They're gonna bring some good exchanges in there, but neither one of them is really gonna tell us like, okay, this person is ready for GDR. This person is ready for Holly Holm. Yeah, Colt said, thank God we're getting some bantamweight fights. Yeah, I'm kind of glad we are. You know, it's probably going to put some, if these fights turn out to be good, maybe they'll put some light on the division. You know, maybe we'll get to see some good fights and maybe they'll start trying to add more good contenders into the division. But other than these being real like significant, they're not going to be too significant. Yeah, that's an option too, man, Gary. Like Melo needs to lose some weight, go to flyweight. Like it could be, yeah, like she could just be at 135 because of the weight, because she doesn't really come in there like a solid 135. She doesn't have like great height or great size like Juliana Pena has the size to be a 135. Irene Aldana is kind of a tall, long fighter with the size. Holly. It more so looks like Vanessa Melo just needs to shed some weight. Maybe she needs to be on a better diet. Because I've heard some other people say that too, where they just saw the body and say maybe she isn't really a true 135, or she needs to be 125. She gets into shape. Colton said Holly versus GDR should be the fight for the next title contender, but their first fight was so damn boring. Yeah, it wasn't the best fight, man. Like, that's why I don't even really want to see a rematch with them, man. But it's gonna happen. We know that. Gary Baldwin said these are low tier fights. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like these are the low tier bantamweight fights. So we can't really expect to see anything grow from it, but we can see some good action. You know, expect some good action from these fighters. They're probably gonna put on some. They're definitely gonna throw hands. We give them that. You know, Sarah Moore, she likes to bang. Sarah Morris, she likes to bang. Vanessa Melo, she goes straight in. Yeah, Gary. Vanessa Melo is thick. She comes in there looking thick. Yeah, Melo hasn't. Yeah, Marcus. Yeah, Melo hasn't won a fight yet. You know, she's on this 3-fight winning streak. So 3-fight losing streak. 3-fight losing streak. So I wouldn't be surprised the next go round when they cut fighters. You know, Melo gets cut. Oh, come on, Luke. How did Luke Campbell get knocked down now? What? So Ryan Garcia stops Luke Campbell. Must have been a body shot because he looked like he didn't want to get up. Well, he got up, then the referee waved it off real fast. What about Pena versus McMahon? Yeah, it is happening. I thought it got pushed back. Hold on, let me check. It's gonna be a good fight, I think, for Pena to come back on. I have not seen Sarah McMahon. When was the last time Sarah McMahon fought? Hold on. Yeah, January 23rd. It's on the third card of this month, right? Let's see. Yeah, Lena Landsberg was her last fight. Yeah, Sarah McMahon's been out of the octagon for a year. And is that on the same card? No, hold on. Oh, hold on with that. They don't. I think it got moved. I'm trying to see where the fight is. Yeah, Cole. Now I'm not sure. I'm checking. Is Pena McMahon happening? Let me see. Connor Carr. Hold on. The UFC 257, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That card is loaded. Yeah, they're the first fight on there. Okay, yeah. I thought they were talking about moving that. Yeah, that one is going down January 23rd. I could see this turning into like a ground fight here, but Juliana Pena definitely has the hands to keep Sarah McMahon back. She definitely shows some good hands in that GDR fight. So Pena going into this fight, it'd be wise to see her keep this fight standing. Sarah McMahon's a wrestler, so she's gonna really be trying to go in there and make it a very, very slow-paced fight. She's gonna be going in there to try to press Juliana Pena, use her strength. It's up to Juliana to not make those careless mistakes. Keep it in the two. That's not really like a high caliber opponent where we're gonna say she's gonna go in here and be a big threat to Pena. You know, Pena's got to go in there and show improvement. McMahon has to go in there and show improvement, but I think this is a fight where Pena, I kind of favor her overall arsenal. You know, the arsenal she brings to the table. Who do you got in that fight, Ernest and Colton? Pena versus McMahon. Who y'all got? Marcus, who you got in that? Pena versus McMahon. Yeah, but I'm gonna come back tomorrow on another live stream and we'll talk about that fight some more, because there's quite a few women's fights on this card. You know, you got that, you got Rodriguez versus Ribas, you got I versus Calderwood on there. Because yeah, today I was just talking about the first two cards of this year. Don't forget, don't forget, y'all, that Neil Magny and Michael Chiesa card is actually on a Wednesday. It's actually on a Wednesday. It's going to be on January 20th. The card with Roxanne Modaffar versus Viviane Araujo is on a Wednesday. Victoria Leonardo and Manon Ferriot is on a Wednesday. Damn. Yeah, Marcus, Tank is going to knock out Garcia for real. Colton said, it's hard to know because Pena takes so much time off. Yeah, she does, but so does Sarah McMahon, you know. Marcus said he got cheesecake against Melo. Yeah. Ernest said grappler versus grappler, the sloppy kickboxing. I wouldn't be surprised if McMahon gives it away to Juliana. Yeah. I don't even see Pena using too many kicks in the fight. I see her throwing more hands in this one, trying to, punch her way in. So yeah, the first half of I won't say first half of this month, but pretty much the whole month, we've got some good fights coming up, you know. All right, so yeah, those are the fights that I wanted to just bring up today, though, to kick off the first two cards in the UFC and the LFA card of January. LFA 97 and UFC Fight Night on January 16th. Then 4 days later, you got UFC Fight Night on January 20th on a Wednesday. So yeah, those are some close cards back to back, man. 116, then at that 120. So yeah, you got in 4 days, you got a fights overload here. You know, you got January 15th. January 15th, you got LFA 97. Next day, you got UFC Fight Night. Then 4 days later, you got another UFC Fight Night card. Then I think one is supposed to have a card this month too. One championship is supposed to have a card, and then you got the Conor McGregor card towards the end of the month. So yeah. Colton, McMahon is an Olympic wrestler. I would think she would beat Pena unless Pena's boxing is a lot better. Yeah, her boxing is better to me. Her boxing is better though, Colton. I think it is. I think as long as she keeps the fight at a distance and she doesn't really play into the getting pressed to the fence, I think she could do it. Yeah, I hope Pena worked on her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, man, because sometimes she makes some crazy mistakes in there, careless mistakes like she did against Valentina and GDR. I mean, when she got wrapped in that guillotine, I thought she was going to escape, man, but, man, GDR wouldn't let go of that guillotine. So Ryan Garcia scores a knockout over Luke Campbell. I gotta go back and watch what happened in those rounds because Ryan Garcia, all right, he faced some adversity from what I've seen, getting dropped and getting hit that many times. But yeah, he's got some holes in his game. Let's see if he really wants Tank Davis after this fight. Because they called Tank out. Let's see if they really want Tank Davis now. Marcus said I rewatched that Grasso and Carla fight. In no way Carla outstruck Grasso. Yeah, they had her out striking her, huh? But what were the punch stats? I know she did take her down a few times, but did the punch stats have Carla outlanding her? I can't remember. Yeah, I don't see Carla landing that many shots in that fight. I mean, she landed some good punches, but I don't think she landed more than Grasso. Come on. That's crazy. I might rewatch that myself, man. I did watch. I am gonna go back and do a. I want to say go back. I'm gonna do a breakdown. Just look at this post-fight thing. I'm gonna go back and do a breakdown of what is her name, Gloria DePaula and Jin Frey when their fight comes. I pretty much seen all of Gloria DePaula's fights, so I kind of want to go in and talk about what Gloria DePaula and Jin Frey are how that fight's gonna play out. Yeah, Grasso could have finished her in that fight. I remember that. She just let up. I was like, why are you taking your foot off the gas? She had her hurt, but she did not finish it. I was like, that don't make any sense. Like, where's the killer instinct? Like, she's gonna need that killer instinct when she takes on Macy Barber. Try watching the fights from a 10-inch tablet in which your viewing experience might change a little. 10-inch tablet. I usually watch them on my phone. Well, I would watch them on my phone or on TV, so. I might have to get a tablet just for that purpose to see if it changes it a little bit, just so I can look at it a little closer. What kind of tablet you got, Marcus? Yeah, Macy Barber has strong will. Yeah, Macy Barber got strong will. That's what I'm saying. Like, Alexa can't be letting her off the hook. Grasso, she got to go in there and work. She got to work to finish, or just work to really dominate. But you can't ever let up. You can't go in there and say, oh, take my foot off the gas. Because Macy Barber, for what she lacks in experience and some technique and skill, she still makes up for in her heart. I mean, I don't know. how she'll actually be, of course, after this loss, so that's a different story. I'm going by, pre Roxanne. I think Macy can take Grasso's punches early on. Just thinking about it, I think she could take them, but if she takes too many, she's gonna get her. She's gonna get pieced up and possibly cut up bad. I wonder if Grasso could take Macy's punch though. Yeah, Macy did take Archer's punches. Yeah, she got rocked once though. She got rocked in there. I remember JJ did rock her. Yeah, JJ rocked her once. I think in that first round, second round, she rocked her. But yeah, Macy took it well. So I could see Grasso maybe rocking a Barber, but I don't know if she'll like get knocked out off of one shot. That'd be good though, man. It's gonna be a good fight. I know that. I just want to see Grasso in there take chances. Yeah, she do take punches from Irene. Yeah, Irene knocked Kellen Vieira smooth out with that left hook. But Macy got power, boy. That's what I'm saying with Alexa. All she got to do, is just use her skill and her footwork in this fight. Stay away from the power. Just neutralize the power, and she should be good for 3 rounds. Or she could stop her. Grasso would be good if she did that, but she can't. She can't take her foot off the gas and be letting Macy Barber go. Like if she hurt Macy Barber, she gotta hurt her and get her out of there. Keep punching till the ref stops it. I couldn't believe she did that to Carla, man. Like she hurt Carla and just like stepped back. I was like, what the hell is what's going on? But yeah, y'all. I'm probably gonna wrap this one up here. Um, is Macy good on the ground? I've never seen her use ground game offensively. Not. I don't think she is like. She doesn't seem too keen about getting it to the ground. Like she'll fight in the clinch, but she won't really like try to get takedowns and try to keep it there. I think she's more dependent off her power. Like what she does in training and on the mats in training camp and her the gym, that's one thing. But I haven't really seen her be like solid on the ground and in her fights. And she looked a little lost with Roxanne, to be honest. So I can't really say her ground game is good or like really solid. Again, maybe it's good in training, but as far as how her wins are coming, it's not really a skill set she uses to get her wins. But yeah, I'm about to wrap this one up, y'all. Like I said, just wanted to come here and drop some news on y'all for some of the first women's fights of this year. And yeah, like I said, February 5th, you got Paige Vanzant taking on her first fight in bare knuckle boxing against Britain Hart. Like I said, I'll have Britain Hart on here January 6th. Let's see if I do that one live, depending on what time. If not, I'll just like drop it later on, after I record it. If I can get it live, I'll let y'all know. Or if I get a specific time, where me and her can go live, then I'll do that. But yeah, let me know what y'all think of these fights, and check them out. Claire Guthrie versus Nadine Mandial. Loveth Young versus Kelly D'Angelo. Sarah Moras versus Vanessa Melo. And of course, Correia versus Yan Wu. And yeah, there's still some more fights this month. So yeah, I'll be on tomorrow night around 7 o'clock. I'll be on with another live stream tomorrow night. We'll talk some more about the next wave of fights coming up in January. And whatever else comes up, Yeah, Marcus, I remember that fight. Mallory Martin was giving her the business on the ground. Like, Mallory Martin ain't no joke. Like, that girl's tough. I mean, her toughness got nullified by Verna. Verna Jandaroba was able to submit her, but I think if Mallory Martin starts to kind of cool it down a little bit and starts being a little bit smoother in there, I could see her doing her thing. And that's the thing, like when she had Mallory Martin had Macy to the ground and give her fits like that, she was able to nullify that power. I'd like to see them fight again, eventually. But I don't think Macy Barber's ever gonna be at 125 though, right? I don't think she'll ever go to 115 again. But yeah, y'all, I'll be back again tomorrow about 7 o'clock, maybe 6:30. I'll let y'all know. But I always post my schedule up here for the next stream. Just make sure y'all subscribe. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Peace.